Huwad na Langit is a Lenten special that reportedly aired on GMA Network in the 2000s and starred Connie Reyes. It was first mentioned by an eyewitness in 2024 on the Obscure and Lost Media Philippines Facebook group and has since gained attention for its unsettling and eerie storyline. According to the eyewitness, Connie's character discovered a so-called saint statue in a creek. After bringing it home, rumors began spreading that the same possessed miraculous powers. It was said to cry, heal the sick, and perform other wonders. However, it was later revealed that Connie's character was faking these miracles to profit from the growing number of believers who flocked to see the statue. The twist came when it was revealed that the statue was actually possessed by a demonic entity. In the climax of the story, the statue transformed into a horrifying figure and took one of Connie's children. In 2025, additional details resurfaced on Reddit through the r/Film Club BH subreddit. Eyewitnesses recalled that Connie's character was suffering from a fever dream, experiencing rapid visions of saints, followed by an image of the Virgin Mary appearing to float on water. It was also claimed that one of Connie's children could heal the sick, with their powers coming from the statue, only for the family to later realize the statue's true demonic nature. Actress Meryl Soriano was also said to have appeared in the special. Some have speculated that Huwad na Langit was part of CBN-Asia's Tanikala Lenten specials, which have been annually aired on GMA Network during Holy Week. These specials are known for exploring Christian morality themes and occasionally offering critical or unsettling portrayals of Catholic and folk religious practices. The reason Huwad na Langit remains lost is believed to be due to its controversial subject matter, similar to how MMK's Kopita episode was unavailable for years due to its sensitive content. It is currently unknown whether CBN Asia still holds an archival copy of the special. On April 1, 2025, an anonymous user posted on the Obscure and Lost Media Philippines Facebook group about a disturbing PSA or short film they recalled seeing on television sometime between 2013 and 2015. Specifically on ABS-CBN's Jeepney TV. According to the post, the short begins with a homeless girl wandering through a fairly typical subdivision. She notices a well-kept house while carrying a bundle of clothes, which is later revealed to contain a baby. She then says something along the lines of, before leaving the baby at the doorstep inside a box, she reveals that the infant is a product of incest, saying a line similar to, the girl quickly runs away before anyone can see her or the baby. The short ends in a horrifying twist, with a pack of stray dogs finding and eating the infant. The poster claims to have seen this broadcast late at night, around 11 p.m. Several theories have since emerged about the origin of the footage. One theory suggests it may have been an episode of 15, ANC human rights film series produced by ABS-CBN, which was previously discussed in an earlier part of this series. However, the original poster denied this, explaining that while the themes were similar, the short they remembered featured more amateur cinematography and lacked any background music. Moreover, 15 originally aired in 2011, though it remains possible that Jeepney TV, known for re-airing archived ABS-CBN programs, could have broadcast it again later. Another theory proposes that it was an abortion awareness PSA produced by Caritas Manila, a non-government organization that serves as the social service and development arm of the Catholic Church in the Philippines. As of today, this deeply disturbing PSA or short film remains shrouded in mystery. Its existence, along with whoever commissioned it, remains unknown, and it's considered lost. Halina Perez, born Vanessa May Andy Uri on December 11, 1981 in Santa Maria, Laguna, was a Filipino actress best known for her roles in early 2000s erotic thrillers and comedies. Rising to fame through films such as Amor Seco, Damong Ligaw, and Ikapitong Gloria in 2001, Kiskisan in 2003, and her final work, Kirot sa Dibdib in 2004. She became one of the notable sexy stars of her time. However, on March 4, 2004, Halina Perez's rising career came to a tragic end at just 22 years old. She died in a vehicular accident when the van she was riding collided head-on with a truck at Quezon Camarines Norte boundary. The crash also claimed the lives of her manager, Isa Muñoz, and the driver. Halina was declared dead on arrival at the Tagkawayan District Hospital and was later laid to rest in her hometown of Santa Maria, Laguna. 2 decades later, on August 25, 2024, a discussion emerged on a Reddit thread in Chica VH. On the thread about supernatural showbiz-related chica, a commenter recalled an episode allegedly from either Venom Est or Nginig, both ABS-CBN paranormal programs, that featured a sexy star who claimed to be haunted by Halina Perez following her fatal car accident. According to the account, the featured celebrity was originally the first choice for the out-of-town event that Halina attended before her death. After backing out at the last minute, the actress reportedly experienced recurring dreams of Halina, prompting her to seek help from the show. Spiritualists joined the production crew to investigate, either in Halina's former home or in the celebrity's bedroom, and allegedly sensed a hostile presence. The supposed spirit of Halina was described as glaring at the two psychics and warning the crew, seemingly blaming the actress for her untimely fate. The celebrity also admitted feeling deep guilt for canceling the trip that Halina took in her place. As of now, OP's comment is the only known information of this alleged lost episode. Given that Halina's death occurred in March 2004, it has been speculated that the episode likely came from ABS-CBN's Nginig, as Venom S had already aired earlier in 2001. While eerie, the episode is, in hindsight, seen as an insensitive portrayal of a real tragedy, reflective of the more sensational media style of the 2000s. Unfortunately, the episode remains lost. There are two particularly eerie commercials that once aired on Philippine television, but have since been lost to time, with only a few fragmented eyewitness accounts remaining. The first ad reportedly featured a figure resembling the Ring's Sadako. According to a now deleted comment from an eyewitness on r/Philippines in a thread about the infamous mixed beating heart intrusion. This mysterious commercial aired sometime between 2005 and 2007. While watching TV, the viewer recalled that regular programming suddenly cut to a black and white screen, which then shifted to a black background showing a terrifying figure, described as a mix between Sadako and an alien, staring directly at the viewer. The clip lasted only a few seconds but was frightening enough for the witness to run outside in fear. Another person remembered seeing the same jump scare appear on GMA Network's program Fanatext within a small lower third box that was playing Lupin the Third before the image of the creature suddenly flashed on screen. Some theories suggest that it was a promotional plug for GMA's horror suspense anthology Kakabakaba. However, another eyewitness believed it was actually a promo for the first public TV airing of the original The Ring in the Philippines. They recalled that the ad featured a screen filled with static, gradually revealing Sadako's face. A similar commercial was recalled by a Reddit user in 2021, believed to have aired around 2002 during the theatrical release of The Ring. In this version, the screen turned black, and a whale resembling the one from The Ring appeared. A woman crawled out of it and moved closer to the screen, as if emerging from it. Just as the tension built up, someone handed her a box of pizza, prompting her to calmly return into the well. The pizza brand featured in this ad remains unknown. As of now, these Sadako-related commercials remain unverified and lost. The second mysterious ad was discussed in 2019 on the Spooky Advertisements Group Facebook community. According to the original poster, it was a disturbing public service announcement that aired on IBC Channel 13 in the mid-1980s, often shown after Bugs Bunny cartoons. As a child, the witness said that they would immediately run away when it came on, which is why detailed descriptions are scarce. However, 4 years later, the same poster shared a brief recollection. The ad opened with a close-up image of a child's face, showing only the eyes up to the top of the head, with a dark complexion and wide open eyes. This was followed by the sound of a crying baby, and then a female voiceover solemnly saying, "The rest of the advertisement remains unknown." The origin of this PSA also remains unknown, but it is believed to have been produced by an organization appealing for aid to children, possibly a charity or advocacy group. Some have speculated that it could have been a UNICEF campaign, though the organization reportedly began advertising in the Philippines only in the late 1980s. To this day, this haunting PSA remains unidentified and lost, surviving only through a single vague and unsettling memory. An educational children's show that aired from the 1980s to the early 2000s, Batibot was created by the Philippine Children's Television Foundation. Originally known as Sesame from 1983 to 1984. It rebranded as Batibot and continued its run from 1985 to 2003, airing on multiple TV networks throughout the years. Serving as the Philippine counterpart to Sesame Street, the show became a staple of Filipino childhood education and entertainment. Unfortunately, most of its episodes are now considered lost, with only a handful of clips, snippets, and some episodes surviving. One particular episode, however, has gained a reputation for being unusually dark and unsettling. But Batibot's live-action retelling of the Filipino folktale, Ang Alamat ng Pinya. The original legend tells the story of Pinya, a lazy girl who always refused to help her hard-working mother. One day, when her mother was sick and asked her to cook rice, Pinya complained that she couldn't find the ladle. Frustrated, her mother wished aloud that Pinya would have many eyes so she could find what she was looking for. Soon after, Pinya mysteriously disappeared, and a strange plant grew in their yard bearing a fruit covered with many eyes. The villagers call it Pinya, named after Pinya. The tale carries a moral lesson emphasizing diligence, obedience, and respect for one's parents, values deeply rooted in Filipino culture. While the written legend already contains dark undertones, Batibot's version reportedly took these to a far more unsettling level. Believed to have aired in 1991, the short featured Caridad Sanchez as the mother, Aling Rosa and allegedly Meryl Soriano as Pinya, sometimes recalled as Pinang. The adaptation was said to be shot in a bleak, rain-soaked bahay kubo, dimly lit by a kerosene lamp, creating an eerie, somber mood rarely seen in children's programming. According to multiple eyewitness accounts, the story unfolded on a stormy night. Pinang refused to help her mother and repeatedly complained, saying likes like, enraged and exhausted, Aling Rosa shouted, at the very moment, thunder struck, marking a chilling turning point. The next morning, the rain had stopped. Aling Rosa called out for her daughter, but she was nowhere to be found. Instead, she discovered a pineapple plant growing outside the house. The ending was abrupt. She lifted the fruit, looked up to the sky, and the scene cut to the next segment without explanation. Eyewitnesses vividly recalled the segment's grim atmosphere, haunting performances, and emotional intensity, which made it stand out sharply from the typical Batibot content. Many believe it aired as part of a special episode or anniversary presentation in the late 1980s to early 1990s. For years, the short remained a fragment of collective memory, until when an online user began searching for a copy on April 12, 2025, YouTube user Undoes Fixation via his channel, Undoes Things, uploaded a video titled Disturbing Filipino Episodes I Like to See Again, which featured Batibot's Alamat ng Pisa and compiled the details known about it. The video reignited interest in the mysterious short, prompting other eyewitnesses to share additional recollections in the comments. To this day, this infamous short remains lost to time. Interestingly, it bears striking similarities to other eerie, once lost children's short that disturbed audiences such as the Sesame Street's Cracks and Nickelodeon's Clockman. Like those productions, Batibot's Alamat ng Pinya lefting a lasting impression on those who saw it as their children. Remembered for its dark tone, unsettling visuals, and emotional intensity. Given these parallels, this lost adaptation could very well be considered the Philippines' own counterpart to Cracks or Clockman. capital punishment in the Philippines reached its most publicized and controversial point during the early years of then President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., when executions were not only carried out but also widely publicized as a means of displaying state power. Among the most infamous cases were the 1972 electrocution of Maggie de la Riva's rapist and the 1973 execution of Chinese drug trafficker Lim Seng, both of which were reportedly broadcast through national media. Born on September 3, 1942, Magdalena Maggie de la Riva was a former Filipino actress and media personality who appeared in numerous films, television programs, and radio shows during the 1960s. However, her rising career and public image were tragically overshadowed by a highly publicized crime that took place in 1967. On the morning of June 26 of that year, De La Riva was abducted in front of her home in New Manila, Quezon City by 4 men from wealthy and influential families: Jaime Gomez Jose, Elgaldo Payumo Aquino, Basilio Pineda Jr., and Rogelio Sevilla Cañal. She was forced into a car and brought to a motel where she was threatened, including with acid being poured on her face, and raped. Following her recovery, De La Riva filed a case before the Quezon City Court of First Instance, and not long after, all 4 perpetrators were arrested and put on trial. On October 2, 1967, the court found the accused guilty of forced abduction with rape under Article 335 of the Revised Penal Code and sentenced each of them to death by electrocution, along with a drill indemnity to De La Riva. One of the 4, Rogelio Cañal, reportedly died of a drug overdose while in prison before the execution could take place. The remaining 3, Jose, Aquino, and Pineda, were executed by electrocution on May 17, 1972, under the orders of then President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. The execution was said to have been broadcast on national television, though most accounts indicate it was only aired on radio or possibly both. According to one report, the radio station DZRH covered the court proceedings and the execution, with the 3 convicts allegedly heard the weeping in a radio interview. However, a conflicting account from the Canadian newspaper The Post stated that while 2 radio networks were present to provide a blow-by-blow account, neither journalists nor photographers were permitted to cover the execution itself. To date, no verifiable audio-visual footage of the event has been found. A year later, another execution followed. On the morning of January 15, 1973, Lim Seng, a Chinese drug lord, was taken from a military stockade in Camp Crame to a firing range in Fort Bonifacio, where he was executed by a military firing squad. This execution was broadcast live on national television and made the front pages of newspapers the next day. While several photographs and pre-execution video footage exist, the live broadcast footage has since been lost. Despite their historical significance, no confirmed surviving audio-visual records of the live footage of these executions have surfaced. These events remain among the rare documented instances of publicly broadcast executions in Philippine history.